Good morning, everyone. This is the key to this 2014 Volkswagen Tiguan. I've never really had a whole lot of time spent behind the wheel of the first generation Tiguan, so when I was able to get my hands on one, I definitely had to take a closer look at it. So I'm just going to walk around it here. And you can definitely tell right off the bat that it's a lot smaller than the current generation Tiguan. They definitely made these a lot bigger. This is kind of along the lines, size-wise, of my Trailblazer. And it's all-wheel drive, has the 2-liter turbo. I believe that was the only engine option for this body style. Got your spare tire under here, a few little storage pockets. I like how this is lined with like this really heavy felt-like carpet. Go ahead and close this. Get in the back seat here. See how the room is. I mean, this is where I would normally sit up in the front seat, so it gives me a good idea. Pretty roomy. Actually, I have a good bit of leg room. I mean, from the outside, the cargo area seems kind of small. This looks like a pretty short wheelbase vehicle, but actually got a pretty good amount of room back here. And then these actually, the middle part folds down on its own besides the other two seats, and you got your cup holders here, which is not very common. Usually it's like a 60-40, but this is like a 40-20-40, which is interesting. Go ahead and pop the hood here. So like I said before, under the hood we got a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's good for 200 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque. It is driven by a 6-speed automatic. And then the fuel economy is 21 miles a gallon around town in the city and 26 miles a gallon on the highway, which maybe for 2014 was okay. But by today's standards, there's a lot of similarly sized vehicles with similar engines that get a lot better fuel economy. That I can't necessarily say I'm too impressed with. There we go. I'm gonna hop in here, show the interior in the front seat. Now this is just, as far as I know, this is just the S trim, so it's pretty bare bones. I mean, you have a manual seat, you have an AM/FM radio, no backup camera, no heated seats, anything like that. This is just basic transportation. And the icing on the cake for me is, not only is this a first-gen Tiguan, this is a really nice first-gen Tiguan. This thing's only got like 35,000 miles on it. So when I saw that this was available, I had to take it for a ride and take a look at it. I will say too, one thing about newer Volkswagens, for me the steering wheel it feels almost too thin. Like when I grab the steering wheel, like I feel like it's way too thin. I mean, it doesn't have to be as chunky as like a Ford F-150 steering wheel, but I always thought Volkswagen steering wheels were on the thinner side. But anyway, you got so your electric parking brakes down here, that's released. You got your climate here, heat, fan, where the air spits out, air conditioning, rear defrost. Then you got your AM/FM radio. Looks like you can, I gotta look and see if there is a, as far as I know, there's a port. So yeah, there we go. So there's your, you got an aux port in there. That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure. You do have a normal 12 volt in there. You have a 12 volt right here. A few little storage pockets here, your cup holders. This flips down to make it look a little bit cleaner. I can take my phone out of here. This closes up if you want it to look a little cleaner. Your driver info center is in the middle screen there, and you use these arrows right here. You can go up and down, look at your speed, your fuel miles per gallon on average, how many miles till you're empty, stuff like that. The headlights are not automatic in this thing, so you do have to turn the switch. Mirrors are already set where they want to be set for me. Then you get your sunglasses holder up there. Little lights, glove box, good bit of storage in there. Yeah, not a whole lot to go over in this. It's pretty straightforward. This is pretty much if you want basic transportation that's all-wheel drive. I mean, this is terrific. So we're going to go ahead and take this thing for a ride. Put my belt on. Sorry about that. Just want to make sure it's out of the way. Has a tendency to stop recording when I have it in my pocket. So I learned my lesson there. All right, we're going to take this thing for a ride. Steering response is pretty smooth. Loving the heat right now. It's cold out today. It's very cold. It's kind of crazy. A couple weeks ago it was like 85. Drive quality is nice so far. It takes bumps pretty well. Handled pretty well around the turns. Pretty zippy coming up the hill. The steep hill we had back there before those tighter turns actually did very well. Shorter wheelbase definitely helps in around the turns. Accelerates pretty zippy for being a little 2-liter turbo. Alright, I'm going to take this thing on the on-ramp here. See how it gets up to highway speeds. Alright, here we go. Not too bad. Little bit of hesitation going from first to second there. I've had other vehicles shift better, but it got up to speed. It did a good job. Highway driving's pretty stable, doesn't feel like it's all over the place or anything like that. It's a pretty comfortable ride. And a pretty tight turning radius there, thanks to the short wheelbase. All right. Well, I'm actually glad I got to do that. I haven't really seen too many of these around, so it was nice to get behind the wheel of one. Oh, lights are off. Or you gotta turn the lights off. Keep yelling at you. Well, I really enjoyed that. I was pretty impressed with the handling and performance. And I do really want to send a big thank you to Blaise Alexander Chevrolet over in Muncy, PA for allowing me to keep doing these videos. You guys rock, man. You know, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So really appreciate it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.